morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. It's Monday. It's been a torrid weekend, but we're here, we're alive. I'm joined today by Jimbo, and our special guest today is Chang. Welcome back to the channel, Chang. How are you, my lovely?
A very good evening to Mr. and Mrs. Boxall from over here in a very sunny and balmy Malaysia. I just like to say, before we properly begin, I just like to say a massive congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Boxall, who are now proud grandparents to a very beautiful baby,
Boy.
grandson, a baby grandson to both of
Correct.
you grandparents. I am so happy for both of you. May this beautiful grandson grow up to be a very ardent and a loyal Spurs supporter in many, many, many years to come.
That's child abuse, I think, Chang, if we force that on him, the poor little thing. But thank you very much. Yes, Jim's daughter gave birth over the weekend to a lovely little boy called Louis, who was £7.4. Mum and baby are well. Here is a quick picture. I won't bore everyone with loads of photos, but there is this is baby Louis. Bless his heart. So yes, Jimbo is a proud granddad today. But thank you, Chang. That's very sweet. Jimbo, how are you?
Yeah, good. Happy.
Yeah, I'm sure. It was nice to get a bit of good news after the crappy result at the weekend. So, yeah, let's have a look before we start who's in the chat. We've got AJ who says, good afternoon, Kate, Jim and Chang. We joke about other fan bases being deluded, but there are certain Spurs fans that are beyond toxic. I'm so glad this channel isn't one of them, and that all three of you guys are polite, welcoming and respectful. Never change.
Always.
We shan't change. We shall never change. And he also says, smash a like and subscribe. Big up. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Hope all is well. Feeling down after the result, but hoping to be cheered up. Big up, Potato Stew. That is our aim for the day, to turn that frown upside down. Shem Tan's in the house. Says, hello, Princess Kate and King Jimbo. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Shem Tan. Hope you're well. Drula says, afternoon, Kate, Jimbo, Chang and all in chat. Big up, Drula. Hope you're feeling better, my lovely. The Ange train needs a service. George, I think you could be right there. We might have to send it to the garage. Afternoon, Kate, Jim, Chang, and everyone in chat. Big up, Stuart 727 and Mr. Changy says Shem Tan. Big up, everyone says GBC fan who follows with Harry Kane is a fraud. He may not be a fraud. He might just be a little bit Spursy. Congrats, guys. Thank you so much, AJ. Come on, Spurs. Congratulations on your grandson.
Thank you.
Potato says, congratulations. Look at Jim beaming. I know. Grandpa Jim. Congrats on your grandson. Thank you, GBC. Paul G says, morning all. Hope you're well. Good day, Chang. Huge congratulations on the birth of your grandson. Fantastic news, Jimbo.
Thank you.
You brought his first shirt yet, Jim? I'm sure it won't be long before he's sending it over to Australia. I'm not going to lie. Bro was born with the R9 haircut. Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? Oh no, the baby looks like baby Arteta. Shem, behave yourself. Don't make me time you out. Big up Lee Smithy Smith, the drunken lush. Hope you're well, my lovely. Yo. Big up homies. Hello, Leo. Good to see you. What a cutie. My dad's name's Louis. Yeah, I love the name. It's beautiful. Seems that if you have anything negative to say, no matter how truthful your past is toxic, Joey, I don't agree with that. I think there's a way of saying things without being toxic, 100,000,000%. And we're all entitled to critique, but you could do it without being nasty and disrespecting other fans for a start. Ellie's here. Big up Ellie. Says, hello, beautiful Kate and Jimbo, my lovelies, and Super Chang. Good afternoon, good evening for Chang. Just made some minestrone soup, ready for some entertainment. Big up Ellie. Good to see you. Hope Angela's all right. Hashtag save Kane. Kuva 99's in the house. Big up Kuva Bear. Says, big up Jim, Kate, Chang, and everyone in chat. Congrats on your grandson, Jim. Love from Clergan Yop. Feeling better, guys. Just this lingering cough. Yeah, that was the last thing to go with me, Drula, but I'm glad you're on the mend. Leo, congrats on the amazing news, my homies. Leo, thanks for your baby picture as well. What a beautiful baby you were. Paul says, thanks for the auto-correction, Kate, for the error. I knew what you meant. And I'm the queen of typoitis, so it's fine. Congrats on your grandson, says Stuart. Big up,
Thanks,
Stuart. Thank you all very much for the kind words. Very sweet. And obviously, like I say, it was nice to get a bit of good news after what ended up...
Not good news, it's great news.
Great news. After what ended up being a very torrid weekend for Tottenham Hotspur. Looks like Chang might be having some connection issues, but I'm sure he'll be back. Yeah, I mean, as far as... hang on, Chang is coming back. There he is. Big up, Chang. Chang, you know when you do that, what does that mean? Is that a special...
Okay. This here, this is actually a very simple Chinese sort of greeting. Anyone who is of Asian persuasion, whether you are Vietnamese, you could be Thai or Siamese as we call it, you could be Indonesian, you could even be Japanese or Korean. These things here, when you put two fists together, is basically this and this. This is a greeting. It's almost like an Indian form of a namaste. A namaste or a hello or how do you do? Yep, like this. This is like how do you do? If I were to put on my Chinese garb or a Chinese costume, this actually looks a lot more formal like this. If you ever visit a Chinaman or a Japanese or even a Korean during the Lunar New Year or anything in which there is a celebration or festivities ongoing, this is how we greet each other. It is sort of like, yes, it is exactly the Indian form of a namaste this way, but we do it this way.
Okay, I was meaning to ask you the other day, so I'm glad I asked now. AJ came in and said, I disagree, Joey. You and I can have completely polar opposite opinions, but when the insults start flying and things get personal, it becomes toxic and not acceptable. That's exactly how I feel too. Good question. Always wondered, was too afraid to ask. Never be afraid to ask, because you learn something new every day. Kuva says the hand gesture is also the one that Kate shows to Jim before he gets held down the stairs. Yeah, have that, Jimbo.
No, that's that.
Big up Cole Simpson says, big up Kate, Jim and Chang and everyone in the chat. Lovely to see everybody today. I thought we'd start off with Spurs. Obviously, we will go through some of the other games, but I thought we might as well get this one out of the way. Chang, what did you make of the game at the weekend?
I thought it was a big missed opportunity. I thought it was just a showcase of how we still have a lot of rebuilding, a lot of sort of like getting our act together now that everyone is back on the same page. But it also highlights just how big of a miss our fullbacks are in a system in which a lot of the players are still trying to gel together. This big Ange system, and the loss to Wolves it's no different. I feel that Big Ange also has to learn how to adapt without certain players, and this was very apparent when our backline was exposed time and time and time again on the counter. And if it wasn't for Vicario, who still is my current player of the season, we would have lost by a far bigger margin. Make no mistake about this. And we still, thankfully and mercifully, we don't have to face Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge this coming weekend because of the League Cup final engagement to Liverpool. So we have 2 whole weeks now to work on a system, assuming that neither Porro and Udogi are fit to face Crystal Palace at home. If neither of them are fit to face Crystal Palace at home, Big Ange has to figure out for himself how to cope without them and maybe possibly revert to a back three of Romero, Van der Ven, and Dragushin, although I can't see that happening without the proper fullbacks to cover on the left and right midfield respectively. I hope that one of either Udogi or Poro do come back, because we could have it was so disjointed, put this way. It was so laborious, very ponderous. The build-up was the build-up was almost Conte-esque or
Yeah.
Mourinho-esque, the way we were just plodding forward. There was absolutely no pace, and you could see that was so apparent with Richarlison so isolated at times that at times you just didn't know where he was on the pitch. And the few times he actually got service, somehow or other his first touch let him down. His ball control let him down. And the sooner Big Ange decides on whether Son Heung-min is the solution as a central forward in his Big Ange system, or does Richarlison need to pull back out wide to the left, and maybe we deploy either Kulusevski or Brendan Johnson on the right. That has to be sorted out. I really do hope this is just a blip, the home loss to Wolves, the 1-2 loss. However, if you're to look at the results this season alone, I think it comes as little surprise to me that Wolves have actually done the double over us with the same scoreline, home and away. Wolves are the only system, or rather Gary O'Neill. Gary O'Neill is the only manager this season who has figured out Ange ball inside out to have completed the double over us. And this has to be addressed as well. So without speaking too much on how other managers try to combat the end system, the home loss against Wolves needs to be rectified, and it has to be rectified soon, because Manchester United are catching up to our coattails. We cannot afford to drop any more points from between now to the end of the season, especially with the home games that we have. Because, and I don't have to remind anyone else of the congested top 4 or top 5 fixtures that we have against Arsenal, Manchester City, and Liverpool yet to come, let alone the postponed fixture against Chelsea. So let's just move on from this. I really do hope Big Ange works out a system to cope without Oro and Udogi. And hopefully between now and our next home game against Crystal Palace, our forward line, for the love of God, work it out among yourselves. Who is going to make the runs? Who is going to take the shots from distance? How are we going to get over this low block? That's all I have to say about the disappointing loss against Wolves at home.
Yeah, I think you summed it up absolutely perfectly, Chang, to be fair. I did see Potato Stew made a really good point, said that considering English isn't your first language, you pick your words very well, very considered and very welcome. I think you put that absolutely spot on.
Yeah, his English is fantastic.
Have you got anything to add to it, Jimbo? Or
No, only that I'm a new granddad and my daughter is beautiful and doing well. My grandson is gorgeous. How about that? Very happy.
I will say I've seen so many streams. I've seen some that have been quite considered. I've seen some that have been absolutely, completely the other end of the scale, where the whole club's been ripped to shreds from top to bottom, including the fans being called out for being this, that, and the other. So there's been an absolutely, in my opinion, overreaction to the result, considering we are only 7 months. And someone said to me today, but we're not 7 months into a project, we're 24 years into a project. I get that, but at the same time, Ange has only been here 7 months. So what do we do? What do we do? Sack him and start all over again? I mean, I don't know. I agree with what Chang says. I think we need to try something different. I think Sonny needs to go back as the striker without any shadow of a doubt. I think Richie needs to be dropped. For me, the biggest thing we need in the summer is wingers. The Wolves might have a lesser team than us, but they're physical and their wingers are excellent. And we play so narrow. When you look at how we play, we're so narrow on the pitch, so they're getting round the outside. I think Ange needs to try something different.
It seems to have. I know the first 10 games, a lot of people thought we never played well, but the football seemed to be really a lot slicker than what it is now. It seems to be. I said to you the word stodgy. It seems like they're stuck in the mud. They're slow going forward now than what they were. Slower at closing down. it just all seems a bit slower to me. I don't know why. Maybe because the injuries and they're coming back and they're not fully fit. I don't know, but it doesn't seem as slick to me as when we started with him. I don't know. I can't pinpoint it, Kate. I know definitely the wings let us down the other day. The wingers, without your dog in Porro, showed what a massive difference it is. But
I mean, Coover, I get this lack of ability from some players, lack of form from others, and a lack of true wingers at the club. I fail to see which tactical changes fix that. I agree with that, but we've got to find a way to win until the end of the season when we can make those changes. And I think playing the way we're playing every game, teams are going to work out that we're narrow, that our wingers fail to take on a man. And yeah, I just think it's a little bit predictable, to be fair. Mark CFC, unlucky at the weekend. Thought Chelsea should have won it.
yeah,
Not going to lie. Says, big up Kate, Jim and Chang. Hope you're all well. Congrats to you both again and Jim's daughter. Thank you.
thank you.
Joey says, a glaring lack of desire to win all stems from the top of the club and filters its way down. Yeah, I do agree with that, to be fair. AJ says, not one of our wingers offered anything. Son was one of the worst players and Romero was still in the opposition half for the second goal. Unfortunately, it's other players that get scapegoated. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Nothing to do with tactics. Bad day at the office. Some players are not good enough. Others didn't turn up.
I did say, didn't I, the other day that Romero was non-existent.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Lynn Simpson. I hope you are well. And also El Dante, good to see you. Hope you're well. Fed up with the weekend and our performance. Title dreams over. Sorry, Jim. We needed to beat Wolves. And when we didn't, that's it. Hope you're doing well. I think Jim has finally accepted we aren't winning the league this year. Correct, Jim?
Well, I have, yeah. I have, but just imagine they all lose a couple and we win a few. No, I'm joking. No, it is. We're in trouble now, aren't we? I think we're going to struggle to get the way it's going because Man United are winning games.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's very, very depressing, but
it's difficult.
Let's stick with it. We love our team. Let's still get behind them. And
I mean, Villa have got 8 first-team players out, and they still managed to get the result. And that's what Spurs. We've got our full squad near enough back, and we're dropping points like left, right, and centre, and it's a little bit concerning. Wayne says this is Angie's first season. Next season will be the next step in the rebuild with better players coming in. The third season we go for the title. I agree. That's if he stays that long. I just got a feeling he won't stay.
Well, a lot of it's to do with the fans and Levy. I mean, if we can see progress, right? If we can see progress, we have to stick with them. I mean, look, I get carried away. I can't help it. I just the way I am. I get carried away about everything, right? But if we see the progress like Liverpool did with Klopp and City did with Pep, Arsenal have stuck with Arteta. We should get behind him and not all scream for him to be out, because then you get rid of Ange and you bring in another manager. We're back to square one again. Do we want that?
No.
We don't want that, do we? Let's get behind him. And obviously, if we get doing terrible, then it's different.
Lynn says, in my honest opinion, Ange doesn't have any other way of playing. I've seen him in Melbourne and the playing style was the same. And I think it's a fantastic way to play. But if he doesn't have the personnel, isn't it absolute suicide to keep trying to play that way if you haven't got the players to play it? That's how I look at it. Every manager, every top manager, even every mediocre manager adapts to the team they're playing against. I think there needs to be a little bit less stubbornness and maybe, a little bit of a change. Even if he moved people around mid-game, it confuses the opposition and gives us a different sort of style. I don't know. I'm a bit of a wit's end with it at the minute because I didn't see this coming. I think that's the thing. None of us saw it coming. We thought we'd get our squad back and we'd start going like that. And it
was such a bad display against Wolves, Kate. I think it's give everyone a little bit of a shock that it was so bad.
Yeah, I agree. Wayne says, here's my thing. How much more of a difference would Porro and Udogie have made? 2 games versus Wolves, and we haven't had our full back 4 in either game. Yeah, it's a good point. Next season will be Angie's make or break. Either he breaks the cycle of managers getting sacked or he continues. I agree completely with that.
Yeah.
Wayne Bonner, thank you very much for being a member for 3 months. Says congrats on becoming a granddad, Jimbo.
Thank you.
Not one shot on target versus Wolves at home in the first half is disgusting. I agree. Big up, Eugene. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Nice to see you, lovely. Sorry, they're talking amongst themselves. The only thing I would say about United is that they have secured the results but haven't looked convincing. Can take that one way or another. Mainu, their best midfielder, he looks a revelation. You know what it is with United? I don't know how Luton didn't get a draw yesterday. I don't know if anyone watched it.
Yeah.
But Luton was so unlucky.
I thought they would have better team. The first, not so much the first half, the end of the first half, but the second half, they were fantastic.
Even like the last kick of the ball, they hit the crossbar. It was like, oh my God. Yeah, but Ben, I get that. It's always next season with us. But when it's not Angie's fault, he's got to be given time. And if he fails, okay, he's failed. But he's got to be given the chance to turn it round, surely. And Levy has got to back him.
Yeah,
but
we can't start screaming for him to go, Kate, after 7 months. It's ridiculous.
Romero's trying to drive us forward. He took it on himself. No one else was doing it. Eugene says it's all Levy's out fault. Oh, someone's at the door. I don't see Levy doing what needs to be done for us to compete with the best. Well, this is the concern. I mean, Chang, what do you think about Levy? Do you think he's learned his lesson and will...
Levy has to back Big Ange. Levy has to back Big Ange this coming summer. Absolutely no two ways about it. I mean, given how Mauricio Pochettino went 18 months without a signing when he was so close to finally unlocking what I would still consider was our golden generation of Spurs players, the likes of Kyle Walker and Danny Rose and Dele Alli, Kane, Sonny Eriksson, Musa Dembele, just to name a few, with Vertonghen and Alderweireld. How Daniel Levy didn't even get a single signing in 18 months for Pochettino was criminal. And there is absolutely no excuse now. We have been officially and statistically crowned FFP champions 3 weeks ago at the end of the January transfer window. So Daniel Levy has absolutely no excuses. And what with the, I believe it's Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam are even having an upcoming concert at the new stadium. So the finances is there. The cash, everything balances up. So how the likes of Scottman and Lang and also Danny Levy and even Paratici too, in some sense, how they go about rebuilding squad, maybe by shifting out Davis or Royale or even finding a new long-term second string goalkeeper for Vicario as cover, now that we've gotten the news that Fraser Foster himself has been out injured. So I still fully believe in the Ange Ball rebuild. Daniel Levy has to prove his worth now that we are kings of FFP. How well we bring in the players, I believe, hinges greatly on where we finish at the end of the season. If we get Champions League football, that is the best possible platform all Spurs fans can hope for, because the pool, the lure of the Champions League would be gold, would be minted for any player who's looking to put themselves on the world stage, either just before the Euros or even after the Euros, if they have something to prove from the clubs that they are coming from. But after all is said and done, Daniel Levy, this is your one final chance at redemption. In the eyes of many, that chance of redemption has long gone. And there's just one simple example I'm going to bring up. My Spursation host, Mr. Eugene, he is a very ardent Levy out supporter, the same way Brian Daigle or Stelios or any other of the Tottenham on tour or Tottenham away alumni. Levy has he's gone way past his point of redemption. But if there was one final act of redemption, this is it. Back Big Ange now, or face open revolt, even with Big Ange trying to do what he's trying to do.
Yeah, I get that. Big up to everyone who's come in. Uphill Gardener's come in, and who else did I see had come in? Well, everybody that's come in that I've missed. AJ said, I honestly can't believe there were people who were saying Ange out. Absolutely ludicrous. We're fifth, 8 months, and because we are going for a bad patch, we want him out. Madness.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed. Big up, lads. Warned you about Romero and Ange not caring about defending. I don't think that's true. I don't think they don't care about defending at all, but the seeds of Ange out are being sowed. I know, look, it's not me. I don't want Ange out, not for a second, but I've seen it, I've heard it with my own ears that the manager can't change, so we need to change the manager. Yeah, I've seen the comments. Yes, the Amazon delivery.
Yeah, Conte never changed, did he? He never changed his tactics. You know,
no.
Look, managers do get stuck in their ways, don't they? But I mean, what we got to say about Ange. He's just come to the Premiership, so he's learning as well. Let's give the man some time before we hang him. God, he's been here 7-8 months. Let's see.
If I
see
can
what
just
we can do before we try and kick him out.
if I can just very quickly add to what Mr. James is saying about managers changing their ways. Earlier this season, after our 10-game unbeaten run, when we faced Chelsea at home, when we went down to 10 and then 9 men, I really thought that would be the turning point in our managers not trying to change their tactics or system, because when we went down to 9, I believe there was absolutely not a single fan in that stadium that could have believed their eyes at just how high the the defensive line was when we went down to 9. That I thought was just a stroke of genius. If you compare how Conte went to bringing Davinson Sanchez on after we went down to 10 men in the Champions League, I believe it was against Juventus, was it? Or was it AC Milan? One of those Italian clubs that we were facing last season, and we went down to 10 men and Conte brought on Davinson Sanchez. What a turnaround it was to see Big Ange really going for it with 9 men on the pitch. And sadly, or rather, very unfortunately, we don't have the players to do what maybe he hopes he's trying to do with bringing on maybe the likes of Dragushin at some point if he had to revert to a back three, or even getting decent fullback covers. Because if he were to review that match against Wolves at home, we tried defending, but again, it's the defensive mistakes, unforced errors. Like if you look at the first goal that we let in the first half, that corner that should have been it should have been a corner in the first place. Richarlison, no one told him that there wasn't anyone on him. He needn't have given away the corner to begin with. And when the corner did come in, the Wolves player, no one picked him up. There wasn't a single player marking him. It was giving him a free header inside the penalty box to just pick his spot with the clean header. And then, oddly enough, the second goal, you could argue, was Emerson Royal not doing what he should have been doing all season long, and previously also under previous regimens, whether it's Nuno or Conte. He's not defending. And yes, I agree that to a certain extent, none of this would have happened if Conte knew how to work around his squad and rotate the players, or at least change the system to fit the absence of Porro and Udogi. So let's just forget about the Wolves game. Something needs to change. That much I do agree. Whether it's the system, whether it's the tactics, or even the players for that matter. Bring Dragushin on. We've got Dragushin. What is the point of going through all that hustle and bustle to outmaneuver Bayern Munich to the signing of Dragushin if you're not even going to give him a chance when your first choice right back or your first choice right wing back isn't available? So again, exactly what Kuva is saying here. There were always going to be bumps in the road when implementing a new way of playing. If we abandon it wherever we struggle, then when are we going to learn from it? Yes, exactly. We are 5th, not 20th. And what Kuva said here is exactly what I texted to you, Mrs. Boxell, early yesterday afternoon, in your show 24 hours earlier, that we didn't get thumped 5-0 by Wolves, and Big Angel's job is not in jeopardy. But something has to give, something has to change in order for us to cut out these unnecessary losses, sad as that may be.
Yeah.
I said to Kate when Richie put that out for a corner, I said to Kate, if they score from this, it's going to be a complete waste because he didn't need to put it out; he just needed to leave it. And what happened? They went and scored.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Mark says it's funny how I was always getting told on some spaces it wasn't Poch's fault, and now some of these folk are already saying Ange out. I know, it's madness. Chelsea game was one of the weirdest and bravest showings. Yeah, it was a good game, very good game. How can Ange change when he's managed Rangers teams in Australia and still plays the same system with all different personnel? Yeah. Second goal's mainly on Basuma. He was marking him. He stopped tracking back. Yeah, I mean Basuma, I would get rid of him and upgrade. I don't think he's got the minerals. I don't rate him. I'm not going to lie. He fooled me into a false sense of security in 10 games. I thought this guy was going to be a world beater, and then I don't know what's happened. But it's that same saying: form is temporary, class is permanent. So arguably Conte's squad wasn't as strong as our current squad. Taking Kane out, the rest is stronger. I agree, but Kane and Son, what's the word? Carried our team, didn't they? Yeah, partnership carried our team.
Formidable partnership, Kate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's hard to disregard Kane because he saved us on so many occasions.
They're the best partnership that's ever been in the Premier League.
Yeah. The time for
the most goal contributions by any duo.
Yeah. The time for Levy to spend was in January when no one had any money. In the summer, teams will have more finances. Arsenal have 66 million for the last 16, beat Porto, and it's 85 million further, and it's 100 million plus. Yep, I get that, but I know that Arsenal, they're still bordering on FFP. Chelsea are the same. I still expect Chelsea to get some sort of points deduction as well. I mean, I don't know. I can't wait for the summer window to just finally see if Levy's going to actually put his hand in his pocket, because there's some fantastic players up for grabs. It's like Zubimendi. I've been saying him. I would have loved him at Spurs. We could have got him for a reasonable price in January. Whether he'll still be available, I don't know. It doesn't help. Big up Ian Cook. Nice to see you. It doesn't help that Arsenal obviously are absolutely flying at the minute as well. So that just sort of adds insult to injury. Blaming Royale for the second goal's lazy and just the easy option for me. He could have possibly done better, but there were so many others deserved the blame. Yeah, I don't think anybody. I think Vicario and Van der Ven are the only two who shrouded himself in any sort of glory.
I don't know why people get hung up on Arsenal if they're doing well. I don't understand that. People get hung up on it. Why?
What do you mean?
Well, if they're doing really well, people.
No, I'm not hung up on it, but I'm saying it adds insult to injury when we're struggling and they're flying. It really does. It's like if we were flying and they were
in front of them 6 years on a row, but what did it mean? It meant nothing. They can finish in front of us. If they don't win the title, it means nothing to me, Kate.
No, but I think they've got a massive chance of winning the title.
Yeah, of course they have. They have, yeah.
But we've got to remember Arteta finished 8th in his first season and Klopp finished 8th in his first season. So Ange should ban ketchup again. Basuma has been dog poo since the Luton game. Yeah. We're playing pants ball. Yeah, we're playing something. I've been saying that for a while, Kate. People been getting on much back for it, but Basuma has been unreliable for 2 months. Yep, agreed. Conte made his own issues. He didn't want to upgrade on Dyer. Oh, thank God he's not there. Look at the game Saturday. Was it any better than anything Conte served up? It's not enjoyable. No, it wasn't enjoyable in any way at all. It wasn't even entertaining football. It was just awful. Are there any free transfers available in the summer that could improve the team? I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of people saying that if Alonso leaves, is it Bayer Leverkusen he's at? It is, isn't it? Yeah. A lot of
Yes,
their
it's
players
Bayer
could be up for
Leverkusen.
grabs. Yeah. So, but I don't know. We don't need free transfers. We need bloody quality. Some real
Is
quality.
Kylian Mbappe going to be a free transfer?
Yeah, let's get Mbappe.
Kylian Mbappe as a free transfer. Wow, that would be the day.
He wants £100 million signing on fee, I believe. So I think Levy would fall over and die on the spot if that was put to Levy. I think Kulu could be a good backup for Porro, providing he has got support by Sarr. Kulu works a lot, cuts in, which is generally what he's expecting under Ange. I wouldn't even have Kulu in the team. I'm not going to lie. I think he's awful. He's so slow and sluggish. Unless he's in the middle, I don't like him anywhere near the wing. I don't know if that's just me, but why doesn't Ange try a 4-3-3 more often? He did early in the season, but recently he's only been using a 4-2-3-1. I think this is the conversation. He's stuck in his ways, and he's quite stubborn.
Look, Kate. Look, he's a smart man. He's not an idiot, right? By a long shot. Let's give him a bit of time and see what he does. Right? He's going to learn, and I think he'll be a quick learner as well. You know, so let's not. No, Ange.
Oh, Ange. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's give him a bit of time, and let him do his thing, and then see where we end up. You know, he's not an idiot, Kate. The man will learn.
Yeah. I'd take Andrich and that Asano guy. Joey says, you already know Cheapo Werner will be one of our summer signings. Got Levy all over it. Yep, I kind of see that coming.
I don't see that coming.
You don't think we're signed Werner?
I don't think they're signing him. No, I don't think. I don't think Angie I want to keep him.
Wow. I would say that Mr. James actually has a good point here, because the clue in whether or not we'll be signing Timo Werner on a permanent came during the Wolves game. Timo Werner didn't even make the starting 11, mind, with Son Heung-min, Richarlison, and Kulusevski as our forward line. I was actually kind of hoping that Timo Werner would start on the left. Sonny would be our central forward, and Richarlison would be dropped to the bench with possibly maybe one of either Brennan Johnson or Kulusevski on the right, but that didn't come to pass. So that pretty much tells you where Big Ange rates Timo Werner for now.
I don't think there's a hope in hell that we're signing him.
I think we will, but we'll see. We'll see. Moving on from Spurs for a minute, let's go to what we were talking about. We'll touch on some of these games. City Chelsea. I thought this would be an easy Manchester City win, and I think a lot of people did. Jim actually predicted 1-1, so he got the score spot on. But did you watch the game, Chang?
I watched a bit of the first half as it was getting kind of late. It was something like 1:30, almost 2 a.m. Southeast Asian time, and I had just gone through that arduous, painful watch along for the home loss to Wolves. And at the end of it, I was just thinking, you know what? Regardless of what happens in this City Chelsea game, I couldn't be arsed anymore. I mean, apologies for my language now,
but you're absolutely fine.
But I did see at the very least I saw a good chunk of the first half, and Chelsea were absolutely flying. They could have been out of sight in the first half. But for some good saves from I believe it was it Ederson? I believe it was Ederson in goal. This game, the 1-1 draw with City, this is actually Pochettino's best performance as Chelsea when it comes to playing against the top 4 or the top 5. And it's a good platform for them to build on with the League Cup final on the horizon. So that game was definitely 2 points drop for Manchester City. Make no mistake about it. If Manchester City were hoping to close the gap on both Arsenal and Liverpool, this was a big missed opportunity for them. And in terms of the final scoreline, I think it was a bit flattering for City for the games to have ended up at 1-1. But on the balance of play and I mean, with the league table shaping up the way it is, you can pretty much see why Manchester City are where they are now, and not in amongst the top two, being neck to neck with either the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool. So whether City will close the gap eventually on Liverpool and Arsenal remains to be seen. Although I still do fancy Manchester City to do what is expected of them and be crowned Premier League champions for what is it, the fourth season in a row, is it? Yeah, that's the script. But if that 1-1 game is anything to go by, I think this season is going to be a surprise for many.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few people saying that Chelsea is starting to gel. I thought they looked brilliant. The best I've seen them play, I agree. Definitely the best performance of the season. They looked organised. They looked like everyone knew what they were supposed to be doing. City, to me, there's something missing this year. I think they really miss Gundogan, massively miss Gundogan. They're playing Alvarez in midfield, which doesn't work. Pep seems to be quite stubborn about that, and it doesn't work. So I agree. I think it's 2 points dropped for City, but at the same time, I think they should count themselves lucky they walked away with a point, because I don't think they deserve to get anything out of that game. But yeah, I think the future is starting to look a little bit brighter for Chelsea. We all knew they wouldn't be staying mid-table for long. And I expect them to have a good season next year. I think Poch is the right man. They're at the start of a project. They've obviously got a lot more quality than Spurs do. They spend a lot more money, obviously. Spent £1 billion. But Poch seems to be starting to get some tunes out of the players. Anything you want to add about the Chelsea game, Jimbo?
Yeah, I've seen, for the last few games, I've seen Chelsea, the last 2 or 3 games I've watched them.
Yeah.
What's that moving pan?
So Chang's got a fan on, and Ellie says his Spurs shirt's moving better than some of our players.
Yeah, I've seen for the last few games. I think I thought I've seen spells of them where they've started to look really good. And anyone who thinks that Chelsea are going to stay mid-table next season is wrong. They won't stay mid-table. They'll be up there fighting for the top 4 again. And anyone who thinks that Liverpool are just going to go and smash them in the final is going to be wrong as well, because it's not going to happen. It's going to be a tight game. I mean, I don't even want to predict a winner out of that game. And I thought Chelsea were the better team against City, that they should have been 2 or 3 up. You know, so yeah,
I think that's
we
fair.
know Pochettino's a good manager, Kate.
Yeah.
You know, we know he's a good manager, and you know that he's got a good team behind him, with his assistants and that, because we've seen it when he was at Tottenham. And Chelsea are not going to stand still. They're not that type of team. They're going to, if they've got players that ain't gelling and fitting in, they get rid of them and bring other players in. You know, I don't know how with the FFP how they're going to work around that, but I'm sure they will. They always have done.
Yep. I've got to say, I think Chelsea won't. I don't think they've got enough to fight for the title next year, but I agree. I think they'll be fighting.
They'll be fighting top 4, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Chelsea are in the same boat as us in many ways. They have a manager that will succeed if they stick with him. Patience is hard to find in football, though. Spot on, Poover. Spot on. Gundogan was the one who gelled their play, a brilliant link man, and got important goals, so he's such a big loss. Mahrez had the flair on top of scoring some cracking goals. Yeah, I think they underestimated what they were going to lose with both Mahrez and Gundogan going. We'll be fine with FFP. It will be what we grasped ourselves in for. Yeah, more than likely. Let's touch on this game. Obviously, before I say anything good about Arsenal, Burnley were diabolical, and they are diabolical. But Arsenal, to me, I think they've got a far better chance now of going on to win the league than last season, because they look like they're kicking in now, which is sort of the business end of the season. Every single player is firing. Saka looks back to his best. Odegaard looks back to his best. Declan Rice is just playing sensational. Their keeper's playing well.
I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I think it's between Arsenal and Liverpool.
So do I. I do too.
I
me
said
too
from
as well.
the season, Kate,
Yeah.
I didn't think City would win it this year, and I'm going to stick with that. And I think it's out of Arsenal and Liverpool who are going to win it.
I mean, they just look a different gravy. Martinelli was probably their worst player, and even he wasn't that bad. But I think Declan Rice, as much as I love Vicario, and I tried to argue he would be the signing of the season, I think Declan Rice is going to take that accolade because what a difference he's made to the team. What do you think about Arsenal at the minute, Chang? I know it's painful. Try not to vomit in your mouth when you speak about them.
What I will say about this, I'm not going to comment so much about that game because I did watch snippets of it leading up to the home game against Wolves. But what I'm going to say about Arsenal is that they have somehow or rather managed to find a winning formula of acquiring penalties almost every other game. Yet again, another league game, another penalty for Arsenal when they were either leading 1-0 up or maybe when they were stuck at a goalless stalemate. Again, they came up with yet another penalty which they tucked away. So credit where credit is due. They are winning games rather comfortably. Penalties or corners or even dubious free kicks aside, they are getting the job done. And as much as we would like to say that Burnley were bad for that game, let's just put it this way: Burnley have been bad all season. In fact, if memory serves me right, the one and only time in which another team also scored 5 at Burnley was us.
Yep.
I believe it was the second or the third game of the season when we won 5-2 away there. The Son Heung-min hat trick. That's the one.
Yep.
So Burnley they are really horrible. Even for us to score 5 that early into the Big Ange project, that was just a statement of just how poor Burnley are this season.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. Jimbo, anything to say about the Gooners?
Well, I never watched it, and I never see the highlights. I couldn't put myself through it, but I listened to the pundits talking about them, and no one's got anything bad to say. Well, I couldn't watch it because I just couldn't watch it. So I just don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch the highlights.
Lynn, what I will say, I said this on the terrace, he's surprising me at the minute with what he's getting out of his team, and I think his in-game management's been excellent. If they don't win something this season or next season, I will stick by my fact that I think he's a fraud, because I think with the team they've got and the way they're playing, they could win this league easy, in my opinion. I think City are not the City they were last year. Liverpool, they're the big real competition, but I still think Arsenal, if I'm watching different, like the teams, I think Arsenal for me are playing the best. They're playing the most exciting. They look so dangerous all the time. They're scoring from all over the pitch. So I will reserve my judgment on Arteta. I will say I might have underestimated him, but time will tell. I'm not going to.
How big a game was Arsenal beating Liverpool? How big a game could that have been?
Yeah, this is so true. I mean, they're scoring from corners all the time. They've mastered set pieces. This can win you games on its own, but provides a base to build on in games or way back in games. Penalties as well. Yep, agree. Jimbo, I told my boss about the little homie. He sends a huge congrats.
Thank you.
We love Leo's boss. Chelsea will definitely be top 4 challengers. They need a top striker, and if they get one, they will be very dangerous. But how much can they spend if not finishing in Europe and close to FFP? That's what's going to kill Chelsea, because they've spent $1 billion. If they don't finish in Europe, it's going to absolutely crucify them, surely. I mean, I don't know what Mark thinks about that, but that's kind of what I think. Out of the 3 teams that come up, I hope Luton stay up. The only one showing the heart. I agree. I'd love to see Luton stay up. Arteta has nice eyebrows. Funny will be if Liverpool lose the title by 2 points, the meltdown over that VAR will be amazing. Oh my God, can you imagine? Ellie said, I think Liverpool will win the league. Who do you guys think will win it? Jimbo? If you had to put £100 now.
If I had to put £100 on who's going to win the league, I would put it on Arsenal.
Okay. Chang, what are your thoughts?
I'll put it on Manchester City. I'll actually put it on Manchester City because Guardiola has that track record, especially when it comes to hunting down teams at the top. Although he just like Big Ange, Guardiola himself also needs to work on getting the best out of his team, especially playing at home. Like as what I just mentioned a few minutes earlier, that draw against Chelsea at home at the Etihad was very damaging. The same way you could say about our plucky 3-all draw earlier
Hmm.
this season when we drew there 3-all. I have a sneaky feeling, and this is just me trying to be a sensationalist here. Spurs, good old Spurs, are actually going to have a say as to whom of those top
Yeah.
three are going to be crowned champions this season. We are
100%.
we have the dubious Tottenham Hotspur Football Club has the dubious honor of being kingmakers this season when we have to face all three of those clubs. Whether we are going to roll over for them all, or are we going to actually turn up for a North London derby that has been long in the making? And I really do hope Big Ange gets his act together for that one. Whatever it is, whoever it is who wins it, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, good old Spursy will have a big say in that.
Okay,
I 100% agree.
do you know what? Arsenal are starting to look now like they did at the last season at the beginning.
Exactly. They're
And
coming to their best.
last season when they started, and they played some of the best football I've seen in the Premier League last season at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how
I
they're
agree.
starting to look now.
Ellie says, do we beat the Gooners when they come to our stadium? She's saying another draw. Jimbo, what do you think?
4-0. I think it'd be 2-2.
I mean, I know it's a little way off. Chang, do you fancy? I don't fancy us to get anything out of them, but
It depends what squad we've got out, really, done injuries and stuff like that. So it's hard to predict now.
But I personally think even if we've got our best team, if they've got their best team, they walk over us.
I personally feel that if results continue the way they are for both Liverpool and Arsenal this season, when they come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, this is going to be arguably their best ever performance at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium if they can somehow win the league at our stadium. I believe every Arsenal fan, every Arsenal player, even the staff, the management, all of them would love nothing more than to win the league title at our ground.
They've done it
So
before.
for me right now, I'm going to call it. I will be more than happy. I'll be more than happy to take a single point right now of that game. Anything more than a point against Arsenal at home at the end of this season is godsend. That is as best as I can put it, and I'm calling it right now. I'll take the point right here, right now, if it were offered to me.
Yeah, I agree. LTL, big up Jose, says Klopp 9 years, Arteta 5 years, Pep 9 years, Emery 3 years, Ange 7 months, Ten Hag 2 years, De Zerbi 3 years, Howe 2 years. Let's get some perspective, please. Yep, it is the start. Shemtan asked a question that I forgot to bring up. He said, do you think we are letting so many goals in because we've stopped pressing from the front and midfield? Opponents have all day to pick the pass over the midfield and down the wings. Do you want to take this first, Chang?
Okay, what I will say about this, from what Mr. Shemtan is saying, that we are conceding all these goals because we've stopped the press up front and also in the midfield. The problem for us right now, if you're to look at the goals that we're conceding, is actually not so much on the lack of pressing, but rather it's the simple defensive unforced errors that we're making when it comes to defending set pieces, when it comes to a simple back pass, or in the case of the counter attack goal, even just getting our defensive basics correct. When Wolves broke in that counter attack that led to their second goal, I was thinking in my head, you know what, we've got this. Emerson Royal was miles ahead of the oncoming attacker, and I was thinking, you know what, Emerson Royal, just do what any sensible defender would do: show that player out to the corner flag, take him away from goal, give time to the other players, the other on-rushing players, to make up the space and get into their defensive positions before they can do anything about it. However, that didn't come to pass. Somehow or other, Emerson Royal just continuously let that attacker run the length of the pitch almost to the corner of our penalty box before the cross eventually found who was it? Gomez, I believe it was Gomez, who
Yeah.
just tapped it in from 4 yards out. So defensive frailties, they are there for all to see. Defending from set pieces, that was like I believe the third corner we've conceded now in 4 competitive matches. We conceded one to Manchester City at home at the end of the FA Cup fourth round defeat. We conceded one as well to Everton away in that rather disappointing 2 draw, and now we've conceded again from yet another corner. This time in the first half, which was a needless corner to begin with. So it's things like this. It's needless, unforced errors that are giving the goals away. Not so much of the lack of pressing. Although what I believe Shamsan was alluding to here is if we had been pressing from the off, and if you look at so many of our goals earlier this season in which we pressed so much that we forced the opposition to make the unforced errors instead of us. And that's where we benefited from those easy goals. That's where we took advantage of the high press and we forced the opposition to make those defensive errors that led to us getting those goals that helped us to outscore the opposition to paper over the cracks of our defensive frailties.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. I 100% agree. Paul G says, can we put a stop to this? If they won the league at our ground, I won't go into work for a month. They did it, I think, in 2004, didn't they? They won the league at White Hart Lane. Please don't ever let that happen again. Please, on everything sacred and holy, don't ever let that happen again. Potato Stew says, before we go, Kate, but obviously we're not going yet, but I'm going to ask Chang now. The 1991 FA Cup Gary Mabbott lifting the cup shirt, please. Anything to cheer you up, Potato Stew. Anything to cheer you up. Chang will deliver. He's rummaging through his... Oh, look at that thing of beauty. A thing of beauty. Which leads me to Gary Mabbott is still coming on the show. He is so busy at the minute, but he will be within the next few weeks, 1,000,000%. So as soon as I know the date, I will post it in the community page. But yes, Gary Mabbott will be on. What a great shirt that is. Brings back some wonderful memories. Leo says, no, I will be there. No way they don't show up. I'll walk into the dressing room myself and rally the homies. Yeah, we'll be there as well, even if we're not in the ground, Leo. So we'll be stand outside shouting, waiting for you all to come out to have a drink with you. Yeah, I agree with this, Joey. Making your child support Spurs is child abuse. Goals from set pieces is a problem. Agreed. We big up the Farshah says we all knew we were suspect in the air defensively last summer. Only surprise is Ange isn't playing a monster in the air like Dragushin. I know. I wish he would give him a go. He looks absolutely savage, and he's rather nice to look at. I'm not going to lie.
There's no chance. There's no chance Arsenal can win the league at our ground.
It's too soon.
It's 4 games from the end of the season.
Yeah.
They ain't going to be that far in front.
Lynn says, Chang, would you prefer another London team to win the Premier League or have Man City win it again? Because in my honest opinion, until someone knocks Man City off their pedestal, we always focus on City by all fans and the media.
I would definitely 100% just let Manchester City walk away with the title. So much so that I'm actually seriously considering writing off our home game against Manchester City just so that they can pip Arsenal or any other London team to the league title this season. Although in hindsight, looking at how the other London teams, the one especially down the road from us, it's kind of difficult really to really try to, how do I say this, justify how to justify another London team winning it just to see Manchester City getting knocked off their pedestal. Because until teams are fully playing on the same financial level to every other team around them, I believe Manchester City have built themselves a winning dynasty from way back, even during the Roberto Mancini era, when the Saudis took over. So if and when uh, if and when Manchester City actually do get penalized for their 115, was it 115 FFP regulation infringements, put it this way. If and when that happens, unfortunately, I can only see Manchester City building on what they currently have. Although this season alone, we are starting to see the cracks appear, both in their midfield, the defense, and even their forwards, if I may say so, with Erling Haaland not really getting the business done home against Arsenal. Until such time when Manchester City are penalized to the full extent for their 115 infringements, I can only say that whoever wins it, I really hope it's not Woolwich. That's all I can say.
Is any mods in the house, Kate?
I don't know why.
Because there's a Sam Moran, and he put something I don't like.
Where?
Talk English, mate. Can someone do something?
Where? Hassan, don't be a dick. Oh, yeah, no, it's all right. I will. Bye-bye. They're gone.
If there's no
don't have
mods,
any of
can
that.
you not make someone a mod?
AJ's a mod, but it doesn't matter because he's gone. I don't want
Right.
anybody
Yeah.
giving any sort of well, he's an Arsenal fan anyway, so he could have been.
Yeah, so
voted,
nothing to
doesn't
do
it?
if he's an Arsenal fan. He's being rude to our guest. He can fuck right off.
Exactly. Well, he's gone now. He's been banned from the page. Not even been put in timeout. So bye-bye. Go and have a cuddle with your mum. I think the Asian fan base for all clubs, they all have tops from all the clubs they support through the years. It's so nice to see. I agree. For me, in an ideal world, if I had to pick a league winner, it would be Liverpool, because City are cheats and Arsenal are just Arsenal. So I'd much rather Liverpool beat both of them to the title. Can't stand Arsenal, and Liverpool have no ill feelings towards City. I get that beyond, and neither did I, but I do believe that they are guilty of at least some of their charges. So, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like cheats. Well said, Chang. We can't help them win the league. No way, Jose. Big up, Nick. Good to see you. Hope you're well.
Nicholas?
Yep, did it in 70, 71 at our ground too when they won the double. Yep, agreed. Already dealt with Jimbo. Oh, I thought I'd blocked him as well. I don't know what happened there. Here's some English. Aguero! Guna ejected. We're the mods. Where are you going to see Glenn Hoddle? Is this one of those Echoes of Glory nights, Stuart? Please let me know, because Jim and I are going to one on April the 12th. We're going to Peterborough to see Clive Allen and Chris Waddle. And also Mickey's going to be there. Yeah, so looking forward to that. Lee Chang is on the right channel. Yes.
Yeah.
I just returned from Bournemouth. Hope you had a nice time, Nick. I was looking to see what his game was. Yeah, he's just a troublemaker.
Yeah, just kick him out. Ben's a mod, isn't he?
Yeah, Ben, don't even. Do you know what?
Just
I've got no
kick him
time
out.
for it. Yeah, you've got full permission to boot out anyone that's being an arsehole. Don't give them time to even work out their game. Just kick them out. At least we would have an impact on the title race, just not the one that Jim wants. Yes.
Sorry,
and no, we don't. We don't do any haters. We like love in the chat. We're giving praise to all the teams. You know, we don't. I'm not just bigging up anybody. We're talking about sort of everybody. Luton 1, Man United 2. We did touch on this earlier. Still think United are desperately lucky. Number one, I think Casemiro should have had a red card without any shadow of a doubt. And number two, I think Luton was so unlucky. Chang, any thoughts on the game?
I think you've already summed up everything that needs to be said about this match. Manchester United were absolutely lucky, I believe. But maybe then again, this is how teams like Manchester United have persevered over the seasons, whether it's just making it into the top four the way they did last season, or even winning the odd trophy here and there, like the I believe it was a League Cup that Eric Ten Hag won last season. This is the metal, the mentality of champions. And although the scoreline is very, very flattering, and if you didn't watch the highlights or even watch any of the game, you would say that this was a deserved Manchester United win when it wasn't anywhere near that. But at the end of the day, the result is the result. Just as in the same way, you could say that if you didn't watch anything, if you didn't watch the home win for us against Liverpool this season, you would have said that we didn't deserve the victory if Liverpool hadn't gone down to 9 men, but we got the victory in the end. So this is another one of those games. Was it a deserved victory for United? Absolutely not. Did Luton deserve to get at least a point out of that? Yes, they absolutely did. And well, all I would say about this game, from what I saw less than 24 hours ago, I believe it was a Sunday night game. Yep, it's a Sunday night game. So if Manchester United do continue playing this way, they will be picking up points, but it's only a matter of time before they also come a cropper the same way we did against Wolves on Saturday.
Come a cropper. That's
Yeah.
a great word, Chang. Come a
I haven't
cropper.
heard that for years. Come a cropper. Jim, what did you? I mean,
Well,
I agree with what Joey said. Sorry, I
I-
was just going to say, Joey said that they were completely at it, United, until Luton scored, and then they just looked rattled. They looked like they were short of confidence.
Yeah.
And
That's what I said. I said that earlier,
yeah.
didn't I? It was the first half that United were good, and then towards the towards towards the end of the first half, Luton kicked in, and the second half they were the better team. But do you know what, Kate? I remember when we beat Luton 1-0, we was down to 10 men, and I think Van der Ven scored. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. From the corner.
Liverpool, it was Van der Ven from the corner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly right.
The Liverpool fans were saying that we were lucky, and
And it's only Luton.
yeah, at Luton to beat them 1-0, and they're going to go there and smash them. And what was my words to you? What did I say?
They're not going to be easy for anyone to play against.
No one's going to go to Luton and beat them easy, and they've proved that. They're a hard team to beat at home, really hard team. And I thought they were so unlucky. But the Chelsea game and the Luton game this weekend, I thought both games were really good, and I really enjoyed them. And I haven't said that a lot of weekends that I've enjoyed the live games.
I'm going to just I'm just going to add something very quickly to what Mr. James said earlier about Luton. Of all the teams that were promoted this season, I really do hope Luton, of all teams, they stay up in the Premiership. They do survive relegation. I would really love to see a lot more of Luton Town come next season if they were to survive relegation this season.
100% agree. Jazz is taking the mickey out of me because yesterday I wrote in the chat, instead of come good, I put he will con food. So they're taking the mickey out of my typo. Sorry to chuck that in. That's how United play. They just have the ability to win games but play like utter garbage. Yeah. Big up Rob Belcher said, probably already said it, but if that was Romero with what Casemiro did, he got a straight red.
Yeah,
agree 1,000,000%.
I agree with that. Well, Luton, Kate, on 20 points, the bottom three are 19, 13 and 13, but they've got a game in hand. So they're looking all right.
AJ says, I know how you feel. I'm a mod for Alan. I've timed people out for being rude, abusive, and offensive. Get told not to. He will do it. No, you just crack on. Honestly, I trust you all completely. I don't want any of that in my chat. I don't care about viewers or anything or whatever. Just get rid of them. I'm seeing him in Clacton. Unless Glenn Hoddle's in two places at once or Stuart's got his venues mixed up, something's going on. The last, obviously, top title contender was Liverpool's annihilation of Brentford. Again, they look so good. They're another team that know how to win. They outplayed Brentford all over the park for me. And Nunez's goal was my favourite goal of the weekend. That chip was exquisite. And for me, he is so underrated. He gets so much hate. And yet he can come on and in 5 minutes turn a game on its head. He has got so much quality. Any thoughts on the game, Chang and Nunez?
The good thing about this game was that I did follow a bit of it leading up to our game against Wolves, and I got to say that until Nunez opened the scoring with that lovely chip that you just mentioned earlier, I would say that the game was pretty balanced up until then. Brentford were doing a lot of the attacking, and I believe it was either Mope or Ivan Toney. They actually came close to opening the scoring prior
Mm-hmm.
to that breakaway from Nunes that led to their opening goal with that lovely chip. But Brentford were, well, they came undone. The moment Nunes got that opening goal, they were just chasing the game from that moment onwards. And until they actually learned to just keep it calm, keep it tidy, keep it cool at the back, and not get ahead of themselves, trying to look for the equalizer and uh, concede needlessly from leaving gaps at the back. Until that happens, unfortunately, Brentford aren't going to be a match for any of the other top six teams, which includes
Mm.
Spurs, actually. If you were to cast your mind back to the 3-2 win at home, because if it wasn't for defensive mistakes at the back, the penalty as well, the penalty that we gave away to Mope and the Udogi back pass that led to Ivan Toney closing the scoreline to 3-2. If if Brentford were to actually capitalize on their possession and also their forward runs until they cut out all these needless goals that they are also guilty of giving away. Unfortunately, there's nothing much that they can do when they face up against better teams, good teams, the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, and Arsenal. And yeah, that game was just complete domination by Liverpool, who knew how to pick apart Brentford, who were desperate to get back on level terms at their home ground.
Yep. Jimbo, anything you want to add about the Liverpool game?
Yeah, the goal was lovely, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah.
He could have passed. He could have passed to. Was it Jota? I think it was Jota. He could have passed, and he didn't. He dinked him. It was a lovely goal. I mean, look, it's going to be a good finish to the season. You know, it's going to be exciting. You know, obviously we've got Count City in there, Arsenal and Liverpool all fighting it out. And if you'd have asked me this question on Friday, I'd have said Tottenham as well. But yeah, it's going to be a good finish to the season. I mean, they do look good, Liverpool. You know,
we've got tonight. You've got obviously nothing to do with the title, but you've got Everton Palace tonight. Then Tuesday night you've got Man City at home to Brentford. Wednesday night you've got Liverpool at home to Luton. Is that all the games midweek? I think that is. So there's some good games. Obviously, Tottenham have got a 2-week break, which I think is going to be very beneficial. Yes, they do. Yes, he will. AJ, he does ship it.
So Liverpool playing in the week and then playing at the cup final the weekend.
Yes. What I will say is, while I think of it, anyone who's a member between now and next Wednesday will be in the draw to win this. It's the same size as this one, so it's a big old picture. Signed Bentancur, hand signed with a certificate of authenticity. What I will do is next Wednesday, the 28th, anyone that's a member will be put into the draw, and we will do a live draw wherever you are in the world. If you win, it will be shipped to you. And if at different tiers of memberships will get different entry levels. But yeah, make sure if you're a member to join us next Wednesday at 1 for the live draw for that signed Bentancur picture. And if this, it seems to be quite popular, we'll probably do this again in a few months' time. So I finally got a picture of it that I can actually show. I actually really like it myself. I'm not going to lie. It would look lovely in our house with all our other bits. But I know Benjamin, Mr. Kaufman, has got his eyes on it, and a few others. So, yeah, make sure you join us next Wednesday for the draw. I don't get why Chelsea versus Spurs was postponed midweek. Do you know why? It was scheduled for the weekend, wasn't it?
It's because of the League Cup. Yeah, the League Cup final. It's a League Cup final.
Yeah,
it was meant to be Saturday.
Yeah, it wasn't midweek. It was the weekend.
Yeah, you've edited Bentancur's injured legs out of the picture. Better job than the medical team. It was scheduled for the weekend. Yeah, exactly. Big up, Daniel. Hope you're well. Good to see you. For the Milky Bar Cup final that we would so desperately love to be in. Let's be fair. Also, I'm going to just plug my merchandise there. If you want to go over and check out the store, Jim's ordered another T-shirt today. Have you got
I
one of
bought
yours?
something this morning.
Have you got yours on, or have you got Ben's on today, Jimbo?
You've
got your Save Jim.
Yeah, but I bought another one this morning.
I've got my Benny shirt on today, my Brewing Bollocks T-shirt. So yeah, obviously, yeah, quite weak for Spurs because we're not playing. Man City, Brentford tomorrow. Chang, can you see an upset, or do you think this will be an easy win for Manchester City?
I can't see Brentford getting anything out of this. If they defend the same way they did against Liverpool, if they were to leave those gaps going forward, because I can absolutely see Manchester City getting the first goal. And once Manchester City gets the first goal in this game, the floodgates would just open up, and it's going to be another 3-4, even 5-0 whitewashing of Brentford at the Etihad. Although, and I'm not going to completely rule out a Brentford upset in this for this midweek clash. If Brentford were to learn from the mistakes when they conceded first to Liverpool, and if they can somehow take a page out of Mauricio Pochettino's playbook when Chelsea themselves visited there for the 1-1 draw 2 days ago, then maybe there will be yet another upset. Although the odds of that happening are not in Brentford's favor, it's got to be said. I still fully expect Manchester City to close the gap, even more so now because they have already dropped points against Chelsea. So another consecutive league game in which they drop points will be seen as disastrous. And Pep Guardiola, you can bet your houses, you can bet your pensions, you can bet every last penny in your savings that he's not going to let that happen while he's still at the helm of Manchester City Football Club.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if it was at Brentford, I could possibly think, oh, maybe they get something. But the fact that it's at Man City, I can't see it. Before I come to you, Jimbo, massive big up Rob Belcher, who's gifted 5 just to kill. Love Spurs memberships, bless you.
Good
and
man.
They've gone to Mark CFC, Drew Lala, Machiavelli, Gary Ross, and Leo from Mile High Hotspur. So thank you so much, Rob. That's so generous. Bless you. Very, 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 very kind of you. Tony scoring regularly. Yes, he is, says Defarsha. And Kuva coming in with a super chat saying, just for being such fluffy Care Bears. Thank you, Kuva Bear. We like pink and fluffy Care Bears.
Pink and fluffy, Coves. Pink and fluffy.
Yeah, pink and fluffy. And he gifted it just to go Love Spurs membership as well, Kuva. Bless your heart, which went to Defarsha. So thank you very much, Kuva. That's very, very nice.
Man.
I don't think you're a member, are you, Coves? But thank you for gifting a membership. That's very nice of you. Mark says, thanks, my guy. Everyone does that as I go to Renew, such a great community. Yeah, big up to Rob. Chang knows his stuff, great guest. He is.
Yeah,
He's
very good. He's a very good guest, Chang.
Thank you very, very much. It really means a lot to me. Both of you, Mr. and Mrs. Boxer, it really means the world to me.
Mr. and Mrs. Boxer.
I love it that you called us that. It's so sweet. Makes me feel like a teacher, though. I'm not going to lie.
You look like a teacher.
Yeah, I just have to wear my glasses like that. Chang with the gambling advice. If I'm homeless next week, it's your fault. Man City for the title, end of, but they will get it taken back after their hearing next season. Possibly, Jose. Who knows what is going to happen there? City are actually better away from home, I think. I just don't think this. I just don't think you know what's going to happen with City at the minute. Nacho's a Man United fan who thinks the top 4's over. I would argue that it's far from over, actually. I think there's a long way to go. I think Villa, Tottenham, Man United are all battling out for that 4th spot. But it does look like Champions League will go to 5th place anyway.
But the top of the table and the bottom of the table is really exciting. I mean, because you've got the 3 fighting for the championship, and as Chang said, City, you can never rule City out. I would lay anything that City beat Brentford. I don't think there's a chance in hell of Brentford beating City. But and then we got us, Villa, who seem to know how to dig out results, even with loads of injuries, and Man United, who are just lucky. I ain't going to say no more. I think they're a lucky team. Right, fight now for fourth.
Yeah.
You know?
Big up Paul G, who gifted a membership. It was so lovely, you guys. It went to Dragon D's nuts. So big up as well to you, Paul G. Bless you. You're also generous.
Thank you.
Kuva said they only ever invite me on when it's time to talk bollocks. Kuva, you know you've always got an open invitation on this channel. You know that.
By the way, can I very quickly say something to Kuba? I'm going to say something very quickly to Kuba. I totally enjoyed your appearance earlier this morning. It was already a Monday morning, or maybe it was Sunday night for you over there in Scandinavia, Kuba. I saw you with Jacob on United Spurs of America, and you absolutely carried that show together with Jacob earlier this morning. So thank you very much, Mr. Kuba. Honestly, your insight, whether it's when you're with Bobby Kang over at Three Spurs Boys, or occasionally with Jacob on the United Spurs of America, and also Tottenham on tour, or even Tottenham away, your insight, your knowledge, and also the commentaries, or even your opinions is very, very highly by all us Asian Spurs fans, Mr. Coover. And also, I'm very glad to see you back on your feet and feeling a lot better now after that medical plight that you had back in January, Mr. Coover.
Yeah,
well said,
I
Chad.
agree.
Well said.
I saw Cooves on United Spurs of America yesterday. It was excellent. I will say, although he looks like a Scandinavian Viking, he actually is in the UK, though. Kuva. He's not actually in Scandinavia. But AJ says, although I'm sure I know the answer, if we were to only win one of Liverpool, City and Arsenal, which would you want to win? Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal.
Hands down, Arsenal, without shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, I think every Tottenham fan would say that. Am I negative if I hope we don't get Europe? Not negative. I hope we get Europe. I just don't know whether Europa League would be better than Champions League. Because I think
we will get Europe, Joey. I'm convinced of that. We'll get Europe.
Yeah.
Of some form.
Hope City win. Played my triple captainship on Haaland this week. Looks a bad decision. Yeah, he doesn't look himself either at the minute.
At the weekend, didn't I?
He's lacking his sort of agility and mobility, and he just looks a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Pep maybe dropped him and tried Alvarez in his position. I don't know. Thanks, Chang. I always like being on with Jacob. Yeah, it was a good show. I did fall asleep listening to you both, actually. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, what's that tell you, Coover?
Yeah, not that you're boring, but just that you've got soothing voices, sent me to sleep. Lovely man, Chang. Yes, he is. I couldn't agree more with Chang. Big up, General. All three. I'm not looking at just one. Big up, Jose. Chang, learn this English slang. You are gentlemen. What's this? What does that mean? I don't understand what that means.
He said some things earlier. I can't remember the word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, like come a cropper.
Yeah, that stupid arse, that Arsenal geezer you kicked out, said to him speak English. He probably speaks better English than him.
Yeah. Thanks, AJ. We tried to keep it nice and happy, pink and fluffy vibes. The Farshaw says, no, don't drop him. Sorry. I know he's in my fantasy team as well. I triple captain Salah in my second team. That was a good move. Chang, is Coover good then? Or I have to start watching him?
Yes.
He's up and down. If I'm being honest, Stuart, 100%. He's up and down. He can be good sometimes. Sometimes he just talks a lot of crap.
Absolutely that good.
Yeah, when he's best when he talks about Shaker Dickie Forrest and
yeah. Chang, the feeling's mutual. I very much enjoy your insight and fantastic respect to everybody. Yeah, agree with that completely. Anything anyone wants to touch on before we start closing the show up? Jimbo, anything you want to touch on?
No, not really. I mean, just I think all the Spurs fans feel a bit deflated this weekend.
Yeah,
it was a bad performance, wasn't it? But look, let's get behind Ange and the lads. You know, they've got a break now. Let's look forward to the next game and let's hope we can do better and get some points on the board to get to fourth. It'd be nice to finish fourth, wouldn't it?
Yep, it would.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Chang, anything you want to finish off saying about any of the weekend's football or anything coming up?
I would just like to touch back again on what I texted on this show some 24 hours earlier at the beginning of your show on Sunday afternoon, in which everybody just keep it calm, keep it cool. Big Ange is still only 7 months into his rebuild. Yes, he's removed a lot of the dead wood, the likes of Eric Dyer, Hugo Lloris, and Davinson Sanchez, just to name a few. And yes, the likes of Udogi and Poro were a big miss on Saturday. Let's make no mistake about it. Although, to be fair, we have been rather frail and fragile at the back, looking at all these unnecessary corners that we are conceding and giving away all those unforced errors that lead up to goals. We have work to do, make no mistake about it, but I'm fully behind Big Ange and his Ange ball, and I cannot wait to see what kind of players we are going to entice to our club if and when we do, which I'm very sure we will make Europe. Just which competition, I'm not sure yet, but I really do hope we make Europe, and that's just going to be a sweetener for any other player who's going to join us. We've already seen the likes of Dragushin and Timo Werner, even Lucas Bergvall, to a certain extent, how they've completely chosen us over the likes of Bayern Munich and Barcelona. That has never, ever, ever happened in my 40 odd decades of supporting this club that I so dearly love. So I can only see good things for us in the horizon. Whether or not you, the supporters, whether or not you are here along with the right with us remains to be seen. Only you can make that decision for yourself. But you can bet your last dime that I'll be here till I die.
Exactly that. Someone said that their favourite shirt is the dark purple Holston kit of the 90s. Which there, look, Chang's got the lot. Look at that. What a shirt. That is beauty. That's a thing of absolute beauty, that shirt. I think we need more purple shirts in our life. I'm not going to lie. It's beautiful. Chang, when can we find you next? Oh, look at that as well.
Yeah, it's a great shirt.
It's a brilliant shirt.
Whenever I see this, I don't know why, but whenever I see this, I don't actually see the likes of Keane and Defoe in it. For some reason, every time I see this kit, it's either Pedro Mendes or Michael Carrick that actually wraps this kit. It could be because the matches that I was watching in the early 2000s were very few and far between. But from my own memory, every time I see this kit, it's either the likes of Pedro Mendes or Michael Carrick that is repping this kit, or even a very, very young Ledley King as well in this Thompson kit back in the day.
Yeah, I love that kit. The only thing about the Thompson kits, they were really clingy. I always found them really clingy.
Yes, because of the
lycra
material. The lycra material is very tight.
No. Joey Barton says, where can I find you on this YouTube interweb thing?
So currently, I am lined up to appear on a weekly basis with Miss Ash Padmaraj over in Talk and Ball every Wednesday at 11 a.m. UK time. Other than that, I will be doing my Spursation co-hosting together with Mr. Eugene, usually on the weekdays, also in the morning or at least in the afternoon UK time. That's maybe 12 noon or maybe even 1 in the afternoon UK time on the weekdays. It's usually maybe a Wednesday or Thursday, but that's when I'm usually on. Other than Spursation TV and Talk and Ball, I would very gladly appear on any member's call-in show, especially the ones that Miss Mia is hosting over at the Spurs Between the Lines, or even here at Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. I would very, very much like to appear again, given a chance in the next members call-in show. Maybe some of you lucky viewers or watchers will get memberships from me the next time Kate and Jimbo host another show before next week's raffle. So stay tuned. Make sure you hit a like, everyone. Subscribe to this channel to get regular updates on when the next show is going to be. And come on, you Spurs.
Chang, you are welcomed. I mean, if you would like to make this a regular Monday slot, you are more than welcome. Next Monday, we won't be doing it because we're away, but we could do it Tuesday instead if you're free. but we'll sort that out. But yes, Chang is welcome to come on. I've enjoyed this massively. So if you're up
The
for it, you're
feeling is so
welcome.
mutual over here.
Excellent. So yes, Chang will be a regular. Jimbo, Jimbo, the dream is over, sir. Never going to do damage at 100 mile an hour all the time, but on we move. Big up, Rodney.
Yeah.
Good to see
It's only
you.
over for a few more months because next season starts. I'll be screaming again.
Yeah. Now, look, you need to do this show regular. Yes, we are going to make this a regular show. So, Chang, you're a fantastic guest. You even made Kate and Jim's show look good. Oi, Stuart, what are you saying? Joey Barton says, if you ever get over for a game, the tickets are on me, Chang, which is rather nice.
Wow.
So there you go. If you ever get over, you'll have a lot of people coming to meet you. There's no doubt about it. The Coxwolves have never been beaten. When I was a kid, I turned up for PE on my first day in the yellow away kit instead of the school kit and got picked up by my shorts for my troubles. But so long till next game, we fill in the time. There will be shows. Me and Jimbo are back. No, I'm back tomorrow night with Mia on Spurs Between the Lines at 7. Jimbo and I are back at 1 o'clock on Wednesday for Wedded Bliss, and then we're off until Tuesday at 12:30, when hopefully Chang will join us again for another Premier League preview or recap, should I say, next Tuesday.
I would most definitely be here again next Tuesday if you will have me
Excellent.
on. Yes, I would
100%.
definitely love to be on again.
Brilliant. And then from then on, it will be Mondays that Chang will be here with us. But yeah, Jimbo and I, we might jump on tomorrow and do a show. We'll see how we feel. We've got a lot. Oh no, we won't. We've got a lot to do. Jim's got to go to the opticians and get his glasses sorted to stop the glare.
You can see my eyes.
I'm going to have to go because
Depends on.
finish starting. But thank you so much to everyone who came in. Thank you to Wayne for being a member for 3 months. Rob Belcher for gifting 5 memberships, Coover for the super chat and for gifting a membership, and also Paul G for gifting a membership. Chang, it's been a pleasure as always to have you on. It's always good to hear your takes. Such an interesting guy, so much knowledge. And also LTEL says this week Chang, you and Ash will be on LTEL Cockerel channel switch. So make sure you go and sub to LTEL Cockerel as well. Have a great day, everyone. Keep the faith and come on, you Spurs. Oh, and I'm on tonight at the terrace, football terrace at 6 o'clock. Sorry. So yeah, 6 o'clock tonight on the terrace. But yeah, come on, you Spurs. Keep the faith in Ange we trust.